What is an addiction people might not realize they have? I mean, I would have an answer if I realized what addictions I had. Doom scrolling. I did it so much during the pandemic, and it took me a while to break myself out of it. That's actually a good point. I need to try and monitor my scrolling habits. Misery. Drama. The spikes become normal to the brain, so those in toxic relationships, for example, crave those dysfunctional patterns. They crave the rush of the fights and the drama. They pull it from around them without even noticing it. Misery loves company is not just a saying, it's science. I mean, I'd have to check your science on that, but I can believe it. Shopping is a big one. This is a big one, and I think a lot of us are shopping even when we're not spending money. Looking at products online, putting stuff onto wish lists, browsing aisles at Target, asking people in conversation where they got whatever. I'm trying to be more cognizant of this because I resent that I'm going through life in total consumer mode. Anger. I think addiction to anger is the primary force being weaponized against our entire culture right now. Validation. I'm not addicted, I just like having it, and it's the only thing that motivates me. You're doing great, enabler. I mean, I guess you could be addicted to validation, but I mean, that's a bit of a stretch on depending on the circumstances, I guess. Stress. I'm convinced some people create stress in their life because they are addicted to it. I mean, I'm more or less stressed 24/7, but I wouldn't say I'm addicted to it. If anything, I'm sick of it. Food. People often eat far more often than necessary. They eat out of habit and not out of necessity. That's kind of true. I mean, you definitely should monitor your eating habits because if you're just eating when you're bored, that's not always the best thing. Soda. It's wild how many people drink soda like it is water. I work at a restaurant and people be drinking soda every day throughout their shift. It tastes nice, but the amount of sugar in soda is absolutely absurd. Just not worth it, IMO, so I rarely drink it. If I'm gonna consume that much sugar, I'll get some sweets instead. I have actually managed to cut down my soda intake over the past couple years, because it's not great to just chug down a 12-pack of Mountain Dew every day. I mean, the damage to your teeth alone is just insane. Procrastination. It's so much easier to say, F it, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you still don't do it. Such a terrible habit. Yeah, I mean, it's a habit that's not good, but addiction? Really? Are we saying this is an addiction? Caffeine and sugar are two big ones. Mostly caffeine, though. Millions of people in the US depend on coffee throughout their day. I would say I'm a little bit of a caffeine addict, but also 2 cups of coffee some mornings will just annihilate me, so I have to stop doing it. Who abandoned their core audience and paid the price for it? Animal Planet. Their tagline became surprisingly human. Nobody wants to watch Animal Planet for people, they have other channels. Etsy. Used to be a fairly cool place to buy and sell mostly handcrafted stuff and items to make handcrafted stuff. Now it's basically shady Amazon with worse shipping. Everyone seems to be a drop shipper, and a lot of the more niche crafter/artisan things are pushed out and overwhelmed by cheaper, mass-produced goods. Stumble Upon. It was a small website giving you randomized internet pages which I used to browse for hours as they were so fun. Now it turned into Mix, and I have no clue what it is. Pretty sure no one uses it, and it makes me sad. PhotoBucket. Back when forums were still a thing, PhotoBucket would host your images for free. Then one day they decided everyone would have to pay monthly. No free tier, nothing. We all collectively agreed we would not be paying, and that was that. I feel like it may have contributed to the death of forums. Ruined a few of my car build threads, that's for sure. To this day, they still send me emails a couple times a year threatening to delete all my photos if I don't come back. Kind of hilarious that they're sending threats of, yeah, we'll delete everything you've done unless you give us money. It's like, I'm already not gonna give you money and I haven't used you in years. I don't care, delete them. Yik Yak. It was a way to have conversations with people in the area anonymously. Really popular on college campuses. They made an update to create user profiles and pretty much everyone just stopped using it because anonymity was the whole point. Honestly, probably a good thing Yik Yak was gone because the potential danger for minors was always present. Anyone else remember when the History Channel was about history and not about aliens? No, I just remember when it was all about Pawn Stars and that was pretty much it. Radio Shack. They went from selling electronic components, little gadgets, and interesting tech baubles to nerds to try to sell expensive cell phone plans and shitty batteries to a different audience. We saw that the customers who came to Radio Shack shifted from middle/upper class income engineers and tech geeks to lower income people in a 6-year period. Then we saw the geeks stop coming in at all because they would come in for some capacitor or breadboard and the person there wouldn't know what that was. If it wasn't a phone, they didn't know. Even if it was a phone, they probably couldn't tell you anything about it. Old Radio Shack employees were knowledgeable and well paid. New Radio Shack employees didn't give a crap about technology. I only have very fleeting memories of Radio Shack, but I do remember being very interested with pretty much everything they had in there, even if I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. Sci-Fi Channel. At some point, there was no sci-fi on it. Quora. There were excellent groups with intelligent discussions. Then it became monetized and people submitted hundreds of questions a day. What time does the Walmart close in Boise? My 16-year-old came home with an A-, so I took away their phone for 6 months. I actually have some serious beef with Quora because sometimes I need to use it to find an answer to a question because that's the only place that has it, and I can't even check to see if the answer is what I need because it forces you to make your own account and select 10 interests that you want to see next time. I'm not using Quora, okay? JCPenney changed their stores about 12 years ago to go after a cooler audience. Turns out the cool kids didn't want to shop there, and loyal JCP shoppers didn't want to anymore either. They've been trying to undo this for years, but still struggling. Oh, maybe that's why I saw a bar back position for JCPenney once, and I was very confused, like, hang on, they're serving drinks at JCPenney now? I just learned from a TikTok that Applebee's tried to become a club at night to attract younger customers, but no one wanted to go hang out at Applebee's, and all the old people who used to go to Applebee's didn't like that it turned into a club at night, so they stopped going, and now no one likes Applebee's. I haven't been to Applebee's in a good few years, but because of the dollar margaritas, I honestly still might go in. Who won in court, but lost in the court of public opinion? Jennifer Connell was called the worst aunt ever and the aunt from hell for suing her nephew. Her nephew basically jumped into her arms and the extra physical affection broke her arm. Became a really big deal when it happened. Thing is, she needed to name a person at fault for her injury for her insurance and named her nephew with his parents' permission. She wasn't actually suing her nephew, just getting insurance money so she could be treated. Or that's the story they want us to believe. The dingo took my baby woman, which turned out to be true as well. I do kind of feel bad once I found out that that actually happened and she wasn't just making it up, because oh my god, that has to be terrible. O.J. Simpson. He did lose the wrongful death civil trial, but yeah, sure, beat the criminal rap, Casey Anthony. I still get so effing infuriated to this day. Everyone failed that poor baby. I can't believe how she used Firefox, but they searched her Internet Explorer history. It's baffling to me that in the process of searching her history, they somehow thought Firefox wasn't a web browser. Effing stupid. Hang on, I'm sorry, like that happened? I wasn't super up to date on the Casey Anthony case. That's insane and my brain is broken. I don't know. Bill Cosby. I literally forget sometimes that his conviction was overturned and vacated. Was it? Where are people getting these updates? Monica Lewinsky. She won in court because she wasn't the person on trial. The power dynamics also weren't in her favor. He was her boss, but yeah, we still call it the Monica Lewinsky scandal, and her name is still brought up in derogatory ways after all these years. The woman who won a damages settlement from McDonald's for being burned by overly hot coffee. It was dangerously hot, and they'd been warned before and paid medical bills by court order over other burns, but because she got a high payout over something as seemingly trivial as coffee, she's labeled litigious and dramatic. The burns were awful. And by the way, McDonald's still has coffee that's dangerously hot. They were in the news a week or two ago for another burn case. It really does suck. I mean, sure, she did win the settlement money, so that's great, but she suffered severe burns, and then everybody on Earth was like, oh, yeah, you suck. For, like, no reason. Kevin Spacey. Really insane how that all turned out. It's like, no, I may have sexually assaulted those guys, but, you see, I'm gay, so it's fine. Just like mind-bogglingly insane. What instantly ages someone? Well, the obvious answer is time passing, since every second you're aging and getting older and soon you'll die and Oh God. Grief. Nothing ages you like grief. Back pain. You can't move like a young person if your back hurts. Feel you on that one, brother, or at least my back feels that one. Ow. Lack of sleep. That's why it's called beauty sleep. Hair loss. Not me personally, but I used to work with a guy who I swore was like 35 and he was 19. Poor kid. I was gonna say the way you dress, but it went real dark in the comments. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Depending on the way you dress, you can look younger or older. I just did 4 years in prison and that was effing stressful. I feel like I've aged a lot. Troubleshooting printer problems. I swear these devilish machines only exist to trigger me to smithereens. Bad plastic surgery. I mean, even regular plastic surgery, you have to go in for essentially tune-ups on your face and whatever else, otherwise it's just gonna start sagging and you'll look like you're 80 years old. Being homeless, it'll make you mature right fast, it will. What app is so useful you can't believe it's free? Copy me that. Get the recipe. Cut the long-winded blog post about the leaves changing color and how the author's Nana had a one-eyed cat named Buster. That actually sounds very useful, cause I really am sick of having to scroll for like 5 minutes before I actually see the ingredients. Merlin Bird ID. It's basically Shazam for birds. I'm becoming a bird nerd, and as I get older, this app has only enabled my transition. Shazam. Impressive accuracy and speed for a real problem. Shazam felt like magic when it first came out. VLC Media Player. Plays anything you throw at it. Download VLC Remote for your phone and your computer now works like a Fire Stick. You're welcome. Just watch. Want to watch that movie but don't want to cycle through the gajillion streaming services to see where it's showing for free? Use this app to tell you where to see it and what it will cost you in your country's choice of apps and currency. I actually didn't know that about the VLC Remote thing. I'm gonna have to look into that. Gonna save this thread and never look at it again. That's the realest thing I've ever heard in my life. Medisafe. I take medication every day and this has reminders for what/when. Also timestamps when you take it so it gives doctors a good record if you ever need it. I've been using it for years and they just added a feature to adjust dosage based on time zone changes when traveling. It really does help to keep me alive. DaVinci Resolve, professional grade video editor, and it's free. Better than anything Adobe has put out. I just hope one day Adobe realizes that we're not gonna do subscription services. We want to pay for a thing once, okay? Wikipedia. It's actually free in all senses of the word. If you want to nitpick that it's a website and not a software, well, it's a software too. You can download the Wikimedia software, set it up with no hassle, download all of Wikipedia, and set it up in your instance of Wikimedia. So now you have your very own Wikipedia. With blackjack and hookers if you want. Whoa, slow down, hang on. What's that last part? How did you do that last part? I'm gonna need you to tell me how you did that. Google Translate. I at least think that Google Translate has gotten better over the years, and it is probably the best tool if you're seeing something online and can't read it, so you just pop it right in. Depending on how you use it, YouTube. It's amazing how much I've learned from YouTube. I've probably learned most of my knowledge through YouTube compared to when I was in school. Is that sad? I don't know if that's sad. What's something people don't understand until they've been through it themselves? Losing a parent at a young age. You're not sad because you miss them. You're sad because you were robbed of ever knowing them. Nerve pain. Chronic, debilitating illness and disability. How quickly life can change permanently without you doing anything wrong. Having a disability. I want to add, being too disabled to work. Living in deep poverty because what the government gives you to live on is barely half of what a person needs to survive. It's always so fun when, the government says that we're here to take care of the people, and then the people aren't getting taken care of. Isn't that so fun and cool? Car crashes. I was literally in a minor crash. 20 miles per hour. I was going when someone crashed into the side of me. I now hesitate driving by junctions where a car is waiting to exit. I freak out thinking they'll get me. It's honestly so effing horrible. Not having enough money due to unforeseen circumstances. Not every poor person is poor because of their own decisions. Finances are like traffic. You can do everything right on the road and have your life completely flipped by some other a-hole driver. That's a stigma I really hope goes away, that poor people are just poor because they make bad choices. No, I'm poor because milk and eggs cost like $14. I'm exaggerating, but like, come on. Living with PTSD. It's like being haunted and living as a ghost in your own body. That's honestly a terrifying descriptor. Oh, God. How unprepared you are for a physical fight. Most people way overestimate their abilities. Not me though. I'm built different. I could take on anyone if they wanted to fight me. I'd just get a little scared after. Losing your freedom. Until you're on the other side of that wall without your freedom, you'll never truly understand it. Not even as a correctional officer. Sure, you'll understand it way better than the general public, but you still wouldn't have a full understanding of it. How bad toxic people and gaslighting are. The thing about that kind of abuse is that you never feel it like you would physical abuse. I know when I'm being punched. I don't know when I'm being gaslighted. What is a beauty standard you can't believe people actually like? Clearly Photoshop pictures and weird posing angles. Overly perfect veneers. Yeah, as like cool as it is to get straight white teeth, I think a lot of people get those scary veneers that like you don't look human anymore. Every nose looking exactly the same. Thank you from all the non-standard nose people. Dentist. So, what shade of veneer would you like? Veneer patient, I'd like refrigerator white, please. Like, we don't need your teeth to be that white, okay? Get like a soft eggshell white or something else, I don't know. What people do to their lips is wild to me. I came here to say the overinflated lips with the ostrich lashes combo. It's so much. It's the Tweety Bird pajamas of the face. Any plastic surgery that makes random women look like they're all related. At one point, we'll all start to think thin lips and big noses are hot solely because they'll stand out in a sea of copy-paste people. Stupid eyebrows that look like perfectly angled stencils is a shade way too dark for their complexion. Like blonde girls with 2 black geometric boomerangs on her forehead. I mean, drawing on eyebrows is not a problem in and of itself, it's just you gotta learn to color match. Like, please God, learn to color match. Butt implants just looks nasty as hell. Super groomed men that look like their beards and eyebrows are tattooed on their faces and those cat eye trends. It gives me uncanny valley feelings. Edit, I was going for fox eye, not cat eye. Sorry. The giant fake butts. Looks deformed, lol. Those grossly buff guys on all dating shows. They all look like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and I hate it so much. I don't even watch those shows, but the lack of variety is appalling. For real, can we just get some average looking guys on dating shows? I'm kinda sick of seeing all these like muscle bound like meatheads. Sure, I like looking at them, but come on. IDK if I'd call this a standard, but the hairstyle of shaved all around with like 6 inches and a small patch on top has never looked good to me on men or women. It's not a hairstyle I really understand. All of them! You're not the boss of me, I do what I want! Okay, geez, just calm down, oh my God. What is something considered conventionally unattractive that you find hot as hell? I don't really know a good way of saying this, but if you are a large man with a large belly, I would really appreciate you letting me put my head down and go to sleep on your stomach. Let's move on. When my girlfriend dresses like a basement dweller on a Saturday. I love it. I mean, what guys don't like when their girls go goblin mode? And no, not like that. I'm a man who really likes women taller than me. Don't think that's common. Ah, so you're a man of taste. There was this girl in high school that had fire burn scars all over her back and shoulder, but she would always either wear backless tops or her sweater off of her shoulder. The straight up confidence and aura she exuded was the sexiest thing ever. I like being with someone who's just a little bit clingy. Not crazy, but someone who wants to text me frequently and needs me around a lot. I adore having a sense of desire. So you just like the attention. You like having a lot of attention, and that's fair. I get it, trust me. I feel like a lot of guys scrolling here should know that rolling up your sleeves makes you instantly more attractive. Is it the act of rolling up the sleeves or having your sleeves rolled up? Grabs pencil and paper. Both. Fellas, take notes. Roll up your sleeves. Give the people what they want. Scars. It's impossible to be boring if you have a scar because every scar has a story. They also add a natural form of uniqueness to a person's appearance. It's nice to know that no matter what you look like, somebody somewhere finds you attractive. Okay, so what I'm gonna need you to do is go ahead and say that just one more time, a little bit louder for the people in the back. Nerdy men. Like a true nerd, passionate about his awesome hobby that only nerds have, LOL. I didn't want to list any of said hobbies as to not offend anyone. Edit. I married a nerd. His love for maps and geography in general came up on the first date, and because of him, I am very well educated on the subjects now, LOL. I love every moment of it. Crow's feet in women. They make me weak in the knees, especially when they smile. When older women have graying hair, I think some carry the look very well. I'll never understand why people lost their minds at gray hair. Like, I would love to dye my hair gray, and yours is doing it naturally. You look hot, shut up. Not conventionally unattractive, just perhaps nobody cares about it. A few years ago, I visited the Louvre, and in the Egyptian wing, there was some skinny, bald, and not really hot dude crouched on the floor, translating hieroglyphics through the display window onto a notebook. I thought that was super hot. Okay, so you've just got a thing for archaeologists. Got it. Shyness, I guess. Everyone always says you need to be confident to be attractive, but IDK never mattered to me. If someone is socially inept, I find them more genuine and relatable. The little pouch on a lady's lower tummy, especially in pencil skirts. You are a gift, a damn gift. We thank you very, very much. I'm so glad people appreciate a womb tomb. My self-confidence has risen. I'm sorry, womb tomb? You can't just casually say, come on now. What's the most absurd reason you've heard of someone canceling their marriage? My Italian uncle canceled his wedding because the bride's family, not Italian, would not serve lasagna at the wedding reception. He ended up marrying an Irish woman whose family was okay with serving lasagna at the reception. Okay, is your Italian uncle actually named Garfield? One of my friends was engaged and is Catholic. Her husband had to convert, and he had a dream where he was in a Catholic church but not getting married. He was a priest. So he had a vision of becoming a priest, and now the wedding is off. I don't know. Something about that just doesn't scream honesty. It screams he just made that up, so therefore he didn't have to get married anymore. I was going to be a guest at a wedding and found out it was canceled 2 weeks before the date. The bride found out that the groom had gotten a significant discount on the price of the venue, and she was insanely angry that anything at her wedding cost less than premium. Keep in mind, this was her dream venue that she had chosen. She was just mad that her fiancé was cheap or something. I was never super close to either of them, but the last I heard, they never ended up getting married. Okay, that's actually a little insane. Like, you get a good discounted deal on your dream venue, but no, you saved money, so that's bad somehow. They realized after everything was already planned, invites sent out, etc., that they didn't like the date. They moved it to 2025 so there wouldn't be a 4 in their wedding date. I don't know why the first thing I thought of was this Mista getting married? Is this a JoJo reference? I smell a JoJo reference. My cousin called it off 3 days in advance because the bride and groom couldn't agree on whether to hyphenate their last names or use his. In retrospect, there was a significant class/cultural divide of which that was merely one symptom. Bride canceled the wedding a week before because she was a hardcore Disney adult and she was offered a temp job at Disney and felt she couldn't miss the opportunity of her dreams. I mean, I guess get that bag, but like, you couldn't miss getting a minimum wage job at a theme park? Whatever, I guess, different people, different priorities. My friend's former fiance was a nice dude, firefighter, easy to talk to, treated her well and got her a nice ring. Every now and then the ring would go missing, but he would eventually find it, safe and sound. She had a good job too, and was giving him thousands of dollars a month to fix up a house they had bought to live in after they'd gotten married. Turns out, dude was living 2 lives, or attempting to at the very least. He's married for 10 plus years and had 2 kids. The engagement ring was his wife's and he stole it back every now and then to find it for her. There was never a house, he never bought one, and used all the thousands he had been given solely on Needless to say, they canceled the wedding. Okay, that one's actually like thousands of dollars on my God, how long was this? One of my Marines has one that takes the cake. His marriage was canceled because his spouse's parents had a dream that he would become abusive and an addict. She left him because of her parents' dream. He's now a multimillionaire. That's an abusive addict. Well, I suppose it kind of worked out for the best. The best man said in his speech that he slept with the bride about 2 weeks before the wedding. All hell broke loose. The groom demanded that the marriage be canceled. It took a few days to get the truth out and for the groom to finally listen. The best man thought it'd be a great prank. The groom was apologetic to the bride, but she didn't forgive him because he believed in others' lies and won't let her talk. What can't you believe is still a thing in 2023? Those stickers on products that leave a mark when you remove them. I never even understood why those stickers did that other than maybe like an anti-theft thing, but come on, 2023, stop putting those stickers on my thrift store movies. That we can't just have Coke and Pepsi in the same restaurant. Well, if we did that, then there would be no competition, probably, or some bad capitalist reasoning. Grainy-ass CCTV footage. It's a matter of storage. If you take, say, a GoPro that's shooting 4K, it's going to be around 300 gigabytes for 24 hours of footage. Say you have 5 cameras covering a shop, then that's 1.5 terabytes a day. Means that's almost 550 terabytes a year. Now put that on a scale of a city like London, where there's around 750,000 cameras. That would mean it's around 82,125,000,000 gigabytes of footage a year, which is coincidentally the size of the average homework folder. Really? I mean, I don't have that much homework, so I don't know what you're putting in yours. Having to call and talk to an actual human being in order to cancel a service you signed up for online. Okay, yeah, that one's actually the biggest scam, because the only reason they force you to call someone is so that they now have a new middleman who can beg you to not cancel your service. Measles and polio. Both diseases should have been eradicated years ago. So far, we have rid the world of smallpox and rinderpest, a cattle disease caused by a measles-like virus that does not infect people, and guinea worm is almost gone. Thank you, Jimmy Carter, for helping rid the tropics of this disfiguring, painful disease. YouTube pranksters. People keep saying this, but I feel like I haven't seen YouTube pranks in a very long time. Maybe it's just your algorithm? MLMs. Hey, hun, I have an opportunity for you. I love your posts, and I think you'd be so good at what I do. Wanna be a girl boss? No, I don't wanna be a girl boss. How many times do I have to say no? I wanna be a male wife. Salt Bae. I despise this man. Okay, I gotta know what your algorithms look like. I have not seen Salt Bae since, 2019? What happened to the lonely guy of your high school class? Well, you're listening to him. Well, I just Googled him and he's a Georgetown law professor. W. I lost touch. Can't be a one-way street forever. Same. But I sadly was the lonely guy, recovering from crippling depression right now, and I am having a lot of trouble considering past me as myself. I don't really know what happened to anyone from high school, and I'm okay with that. So it seems the lonely guy from your high school class is doing fine. Of course I know him. He's me. Okay, and how are you doing? That was the actual question. He married a pretty artist from Syracuse and also typed this sentence. I'm doing okay. For someone who had lost sight in one eye, fought off incurable cancer, permanent nerve damage in back, hips, and legs, slipped disc in back, and fractured pelvis. But yeah, I'm good. Damn, bruv, you're a war vet at this point. Does that mean I get my pension? Only war I was in was my first marriage. Oh my god, these scars run deep, huh? What's the first sign that a movie is going to suck? I don't know if this happens in other countries, but in the UK, you occasionally get TV spots where they have mini interviews with members of an audience who've just watched the movie. So it'll be filmed in a cinema lobby and be like, what did you think of the film? And there'll be a family of 4 going, oh, it was great, really funny, just perfect for all the family. When you see one of these, you know it's going to be absolute dog shit. It often just feels desperate, like, oh, no, look, we promise, we made a good thing. Look, this is what real people said. Don't tell me your movie is good. Just, let me figure that out on my own, you know? Their only selling point is that they have insert famous actor. I will say that's not always indicative of a bad movie, but if they are hardcore being like, look, we have Chris Pratt voicing a shrimp, I don't care, dog, I don't. When the critics say, it's an adventure unlike any other, or something similar, Is it unlike any other adventure because it's boring and sucks? The trailer is just a video of people reacting to seeing the movie. We do kind of need to move away from that. It only worked with Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity because those were like brand new types of horror. Now it's like, okay, your movie's probably mid. Limited access to critics. That's always a giveaway. Now I do understand having some like review embargoes from regular people watching movies, but if you're really only letting specific critics watch your movie, you're hiding something. 10 minutes in and the screen is still too dark. I don't know if I've experienced a movie like that, so I don't know exactly what they're talking about. But sure, I guess. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you everyone for watching. My name's Brandon and I will do stuff another time.